Well, hello.
That was aggressive.
I am aggressive. Welcome to another episode of the BROxFire Podcast. I am LJ Regine.
And I am Will Fuller.
And we are your hosts for the BROxFire Podcast. How you feeling today, Will?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
I'm excited for this. And I think we should also talk about it a little real quickly because we said hosts and we should have that little conversation about the elephant in the room.
No, there's no elephant in the room. Just tell us what happened to Adam.
Well, Adam is a very busy individual, and he's got a lot going on, and he had to gracefully did it, step down from the podcast. You have this thing about spinning plates.
He's got a lot going on, so we all just decided that it was a good thing that we're doing what we're doing right now. But what's really cool is we're going to have more opportunity for guests. So this will be our episode, and then the next time you see us, we'll probably have a special guest.
And if you want to be a guest,
we don't care.
Exactly. You can tell us all you want.
We'll tell you when you're going to be a guest.
And if you don't show up, then we don't have a guest.
Then we probably won't ever speak to you ever again.
Probably.
Okay, Will, what?
Wait a minute, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Who spins plates anymore? Have you ever seen that?
Okay, I think spinning plates is a good depiction of being busy. You got a lot on your plate. You're
a lot on your plate.
Juggling plates. Well, let's just.
I'm not a good plate juggler. I feel like it would make me stressed out.
You're always stressed out, Will.
I am. It is part of who I am.
It is part of who you are, and that's why we love you so much. And by we, I mean just me. Me and the fit superhero bros on the table here.
Did you notice, though, that I put the ones that you actually really like more on your side?
But you didn't do it right. You've got Soldier 76 from Overwatch. I don't even know where Thor is.
Thor's in the front.
America. Thor on my side, I have Drax, Wolverine, and Hulk. When have I ever told you why those have been my favorites?
No, these
you
guys
don't listen
are on
to
your
me.
Side. The guy from Aquaman's on your side.
Okay. I do want to say, though, if this is your first time joining us, this is the B-Wire. I don't even know what this is. This is the BROxFire Podcast. This is my gym, RoxFire Fitness. Will is one of my members here at the gym. We got to talking one day and decided that all we do is sit around and talk and shoot the shit with each other, so we might as well include the whole world in on it.
Yeah, why not?
And we're a bunch of bros, so we're going to be talking about things from our perspective, anything from style, fashion, what's going on in the world, business, fitness, and just share all of what we think with you in the hopes that you like it. And if you don't like it,
we don't care.
You can go fuck off.
Yes, definitely, because here's the thing. Honestly, it's just a lot of our opinions, and that's all that matters.
We did get a comment, and we just want to bring this up.
That's right.
We did. There will be a little bit of swearing, so you'll probably have already seen the disclaimer at the beginning. So,
if you have children around,
put your fucking headphones on.
Headphones, your whatever you have, or go in another room,
or turn off our podcast.
Right, because at the end of the day, we're going to swear, and like I said to you before, one of the most important things is, if we were at a bar, this is what this is supposed to be like. If we were at a bar just having a conversation.
We are at a bar.
Actually, yes. And if a bartender...
Wait, did we not work this out right? We're both Italian, we talk with our hands.
I know, we're going to
fucking... You're doing that to each other.
I know, and you're left-handed. Shit, I should have been
left-handed. Fuck. Wrong side. Okay.
Whatever, next time.
We'll make it work.
All right. So one of the things is a bartender came over to us and was like, "Excuse me, gentlemen." I would hope that he would call us gentlemen. There's no swearing in this bar. We would get up and fucking walk out.
We would get the fuck out of there.
Because who would ever say that? No one ever at a bar.
Well, speaking of which, you're at our bar right now, and what happens at a bar? You serve drinks.
Yes.
So, Will, this week, this fucking mosquito.
Got him?
Nope.
Get him now? You're really bad at that. You get him?
Well, he bit me, okay?
Well, that's what happens when you wear sleeveless shirts and sweaters.
I do it for all the viewers out there.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I wear the jacket for all the viewers.
All right. So let's talk about, we're at the bar. What do we have today to drink, Will?
We have Sambuca and
which is not Sambucha.
I don't know why you call it.
You know
that.
why? Because kombucha. I'm mixing kombucha and sambuca and calling it sambucha.
I'm so glad you explained that. Still doesn't make any
That
fucking
would be
sense.
the grossest drink in the entire fucking world. That's what that would be.
Right. But you also said this was gross. So, quick story about this. Cheers to you. And I almost broke the glass. You're so angry. Quick story is when I was like 14 years old, we went to my uncle's butcher shop. And
Your uncle had a butcher shop?
I think he worked at one, but it sounds better if I say he owned it.
Well, you ruined that.
Well, I didn't, you called me out on it. I could have just said, oh, wow, I messed up.
All right, we just cheers, and I have to sit here and listen to your fucking story before I can take a sip.
Exactly. So if you didn't interrupt it, it would be already done.
All right.
So I just remember the first time I ever had this was the butcher shop closed. There was a bunch of Italians in there with my dad, and I have to say my dad because he's not Italian. And they were all just standing around, and I'm like, what are we waiting for? My dad looked at me, and he kind of gave me this look like, this is going to happen, don't tell your mom. And we did like a few shots of Sambuca. And
How
I remember
old were you?
I think I was like 14.
Okay, so we don't condone underage drinking here at the BROxFire Podcast.
Unless you're Italian.
Unless you're Italian.
In New York.
In New York. Cheers.
So.
All right. Oh, jeez.
It's really good. And your breath is going to smell better. It tastes like black
Why does my
licorice.
breath not smell good?
Well, now it smells awesome.
Well, tell me that next time I have to sit next to talk to you. I'll throw some mouthwash in.
So every time you talk to me, I have to go like this. Just kidding.
That's so not fair. I was actually, you know why? It's because I was drinking one of those sports drinks, and it that and protein totally F up your breath.
I was just kidding, though. I really couldn't smell your breath.
Well, I'm actually very sensitive to breath. I have a couple friends who I'm like, ugh, every time I talk to them, and I just want to approach the subject. How do you approach that subject with somebody? It's okay to tell your partner it because you have to kiss them, but your friend.
Oh, okay, so you can't really approach them. You just offer them gum or a mint. And if they don't take it,
You say, no.
No, please.
No.
This
is for you.
Make up the flavor. Be like, this is an awesome flavor. You just got to try it. And they'll be like, it tastes like mint. I'll be like, oh, okay, shit, sorry. Thought that was wild. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Have you watch movies, right? A lot of movies?
Yeah, I watch movies, Will.
Okay. Well,
I've never seen one. What happens in a movie?
In a movie, what I meant to say is you watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of time, but yeah, I've seen a lot of movies in my life, Will.
All right, good. Well, because this happens in every fucking movie where the woman, the guy, whatever, they wake up and they start making out.
Right,
Bullshit.
It's so gross because, morning breath is the fucking worst.
That's when I'm just like, can you please, for the love of God, there's only one movie to this day that I know was like, we are not going to kiss because of morning breath. And it was with Freddie Prinze Jr. and
Rachel, something or other.
It was something, but it was I don't even know. But I remember that part of the movie being like, this is the only movie that was like,
that's real.
That's like almost real.
Oh no, the rule in my house is if any of that's happening, you're going to get some mouthwash.
This doesn't happen. So, or you could have a sip of Sambuca.
Or you could have a sip of Sambuca. So tying this back fucking around to Sambuca, which I hate.
But it's pretty good.
I still don't like it. I just have this weird face on while I'm trying to.
Okay, so while we're doing this, I just want to ask a few questions to LJ because he is the owner of this gym and we want to know so much about him. Actually, I'm going to answer these questions too, but I'm going to let him go first. So what it's called
You're going to let me go first.
I'm going to let you.
Thank you for letting me.
Well, because people want to hear your answer before mine.
Well.
So anyways, it's called Finish the Sentence. Apparently you're really good at that. So we're going to you've done it 3 times.
What does that mean?
That means you just did it 3 times.
But that's why we work well together, Will. We
Correct.
can finish each other's sentences.
Sandwiches. I was like, no, don't ever. I would never take your sandwich.
That was a Frozen reference.
Oh, it was? Which episode? The second one?
It's not episodes.
Which
the first
movie? I'm sorry, I didn't need to.
It's in one of the songs. Don't worry about it. All right, let's move on from Frozen.
I think this is why I said episode. So finish the sentence. I've seen every episode of
Veep.
What the fuck is that?
It's on HBO. It stars Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and she plays the vice president. I think it ran for about 5 seasons. I think I've watched the entire series 5 or 6 times. It's so fucking funny. It's basically about politics in D.C. And from all the political shows out there, everyone who's ever watched that who lives in D.C. is like, this is the most like what it's really like because they're all awful and mean and nasty to each other, but it's so funny.
Interesting.
Very interesting. What about you, Will?
Mine would be White Collar. I know that one. It was a movie. It's about style. It's about fashion.
It's not a movie. It's a TV
show. It's about...
Christ, Will.
I wish it was a movie.
Get it right.
Sorry. Episodes, movies. No, it's a TV show, and it's got
All right,
art,
I'm done with the
fashion.
fucking Sambuca, by the way.
Where's he going? All right, he's out. He's going to get it. It's really not that bad. Where's he going? Okay. Oh,
I had to cleanse my palate here.
and he says he's Italian. He's getting a Miller Lite.
I got a Miller Lite. I got to cleanse my palate. It's a fine Pilsner beer.
No, that's a lie. We're lying.
Do you want mine?
Oh, wow, you really are not. Okay.
There you go.
I said for you to finish it if you were
Well.
going to not drink it. Okay, so that was
Cheers.
question.
You know, when I bring my drink, you can also elect to have a backup drink.
This next question is going to be awesome.
Okay.
Finish the sentence again. Mm-hmm. People say I look like.
I actually don't get that.
You don't?
No, I don't.
No, okay. I did once, but if anyone knows, and this is for a story for another day, my face has changed. But before, have you ever seen
My face
Men in
has
Black
changed.
or Monk?
Actually, the movie Face Off was based on Will. Sorry, what? Men in Black?
Have you seen Men in Black or Monk?
I've seen Men in Black from the 90s.
Yeah, but have you ever seen the TV show Monk?
No.
Oh, that's weird. But Men in Black, you know the guy that gets his face shot off and it grows back?
No.
Then never mind.
What's the name of the actor?
I don't know. The guy that plays Monk. Adrian's the name of him in Monk. I don't know, but people said I used to look like him or Ben Savage.
Ben Savage from
Boy Meets World?
Boy Meets World? I don't see it.
That's because I have a new face.
Right, maybe your old face actually looked
it
like, you know.
It did, and I actually noticed that, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, but, you know, Ben Savage is not someone you want to be compared
No, I know,
to, so
and I was just going to say...
thank God for the upgrade,
yeah,
right, Will?
I'm so happy for the upgrade. Next question. I'm currently addicted to...
My business.
I was going to thought you were going to say yourself.
Well, my business is myself,
It's
so
true,
thanks, Will.
You are addicted to your business. I am addicted to style, like looking good.
Ooh.
I am. I really am.
So yourself.
Myself. I was like, wow, we have the same answer.
Me.
All right, ready? The last text I sent.
Was to you telling you that I was leaving the house.
That you look good.
That I always look good.
My last
leaving the house.
My last text was a picture. Well, it's not considered a text. My last text was saying, when you look handsome, right? Because you said you had to be handsome.
I had to get handsome, and this is my version of handsome.
And let me know when you look handsome and you're on your way. That was my last.
Oh yeah, you sent me a picture of a coffee, and I thought like that was you being like, I got you a coffee, and I was really excited. And then when I got here, there was no coffee.
No, it was just one little. No, that was for me.
Why did you share that with me?
Because I just wanted to let you know that I was there and I was having a coffee.
What a nice guy.
I know, and it looked amazing, and it tasted amazing. All right, 2 more.
Okay, I'm ready for him.
I wish I was living in
a house. I live in an apartment building. So for me, I would love to have a big house with a big backyard. And in that house with a big backyard, I would double my amount of dogs. So I would go from 2 to 4 if I could.
Okay, that was a good answer because I was not expecting that.
Thank
Mine
you.
would be I would love to live Capri.
Oh, so you want to go to Italy and take your fucking Sambuca and get out of here.
Get far away from the guy who thinks he is Italian and drink with people who are like, hey, yes, I'm
I don't think that I am Italian. I know that I am Italian.
We're going to have to question that. We're going to have to...
On our next segment, how Italian are you? And
Yeah.
it's like what? Like how much you do this and say, hey, and talk about pasta.
And drink Sambuca.
And drink Sambuca. There's so many stereotypes.
I know there is. We should go over them
And
next
apparently it's okay to make fun of Italians, you know. You can make Italian stereotypes.
Well, we make fun of ourselves.
We do make fun of ourselves.
I'm always craving.
Nothing.
Bullshit.
What's your answer?
No, I cut. What am I always craving? Attention.
I like your honesty.
Dude, I do. If I walk into a room and nobody notices me, I'm like, fuck this room.
You're like, what? Fuck this room.
I'm out.
I'm always craving, and I don't mean to sound like a dick when I say this or a douchebag, but I'm always craving growth. How can I get better at something I'm doing? How can I look at a situation that just happened, and I talk to you about this all the time, so.
You almost like smack me in the face.
I talk to you about this all the time.
Be careful.
No, but like, how can I improve?
No, I agree.
And like, I'll look at a situation and be like, okay, what did I do here, and how could I get more pro, bro?
Oh, we're going to talk about that later.
Go pro, bro.
Awesome. I'm excited about that. So that was it. That's all I have.
That was really cool. I actually really liked that. So you did good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Whew. I was sweating on that one.
All right. So we're going to move on to the Sport, Pop, and Fort report.
Yeah. Let's go. I don't know what to say to that because that name always, I think I even typed it wrong here. We're talking.
What did you put?
Well, I put, what'd you say it was?
Sport, Pop, and Fort?
Yeah, I say Fort, Sport, and Pop. I don't know why. I just Fort, Sport, and Pop.
Well, whatever the fuck it is, we're going to talk about it now. So this is our segment where we talk a little bit about something going on in the sports world, something going on in Fort Lauderdale, and something going on in pop culture.
It's totally our opinion.
It is. Well, yeah, this whole thing is our opinion.
I know. I just want to let people know that if you don't like what we have to say about it, we're not going to, don't worry, we're not going to be too controversial.
Fuck you!
Yeah, exactly. But because it's just one of those things that's like we say what we want to say, and this is why we did this podcast, because we have a lot of opinions.
We do. We sure do. And, I think everyone who knows us, including our significant others, is really happy that we have an outlet for sharing all of our feelings that is not them.
To definitely record it and let the world know how much of a piece of shit you are.
So I wanted to circle back to what we talked to on the last Sport, Pop, and Fort report.
Exactly.
Which was talking about the Super Bowl, which has now passed, and the halftime show. So I want to dive in first to talking about the halftime show. We talked about Shakira featuring JLO or JLO featuring Shakira.
Who started it?
Okay. That's exactly the point that I was going to make. Shakira opened, but the opener is never the headliner. The headliner goes second. So JLO went second.
No.
Yes.
How did they end?
Together.
Boom.
Right, but JLO went second. So whenever you go to a show, the star biller...
JLO had a freaking cane. She came out with a cane. Everyone's like,
JLO was fucking awesome, so I don't know.
No, she was too aggressive. She came out in the black leather, like, who the fuck... the Jenny from the block.
Okay,
I don't know.
For
me
you
personally...
joking? You enjoyed it when you were sitting, we watched it together. You said you really liked it. Why are you now shitting on JLO?
There was no way. I was shitting on JLO the whole time we were watching it.
No, you weren't.
I was. I said, look at her. You're like, oh, she's 50 years old. I'm like, yeah, I know, because she's got a cane for that 50-year-old body. And then Shakira... Are
you joking right now? She looked like she was like, had gone through time back to being 25. That's what everyone keeps saying is like how gorgeous she looked, how, fit, how on point everything was.
When you have that much money, I hope that...
Okay, so that's fucked up. Okay, let's talk about that. We're going to drill down into that because I saw that online when I was reading about whatever. Yes, I'm sure it's easy for you if you've got a chef and you've got a personal trainer, but you have to still put in the fucking work. I watched her episode on Jimmy Kimmel the other night, and she said that they have been rehearsing every single day since November, obviously
because
safe
she didn't
for the
want to look
holidays.
like a fool in front of everyone.
Bro, you know what? This pisses me off. She puts in so much hard work to make it.
If you're going to point at me and say it pisses you off, look at me.
It pisses me off.
Don't be like, it pisses.
No, come on. We have to agree on something. There's nobody that works harder. I mean, I'm sure there are people, but one of the reasons why she is at the top of her career the way she is because she works her ass off, and she's always worked her ass off.
Unlike her husband who took steroids.
But you can't take that away from, you can't take any of that away from people when they sit there and
I'm not
work
taking
hard.
it away.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
That was a flaw. She gave a flawless performance. She was on point, and she worked her butt off to do that, and that's why she's JLo. I'm not taking anything away from Shakira. I thought Shakira was great.
She was hot.
I'm not a big fan of Shakira. I think she's okay.
Her hips didn't lie.
Her hips didn't lie. I think she's very talented. She's a very talented musician, and I think she also works her butt off. But when you get to that level and you're doing the Super Bowl halftime show, you work your butt off. I just don't like when people take that away and say like, oh, well, if I had all this money too, I could do what she did. Yeah, but you also have to have a fucking work ethic of steel. So that's all I'm going to say.
That's all?
That's it.
I don't think that's all he's going to say. There will be more.
There will be more, but you can't take that away from somebody.
But people in South Florida and Miami, they loved the Shakira. It was awesome. Like the way she was moving and dancing, and she's 43. I mean, she's not 50, but she was really moving it.
I agree.
I saw your face. This is you. You're watching Shakira, and you did one of these. back to the TV like, what the dude, you did not know Shakira could move and dance like that.
Yes, I did. What are you even talking about?
I was blown away. But anyway, so
I'm glad you were blown away, but so was I. I'm not taking anything away from Shakira. You're the one that's trying to take things away from JLO.
You know what I'm going to take things away from?
You.
No, I'm going to take things away from the Super Bowl and the commercial.
Okay, let's talk about the commercials, because I think we might find some common ground here on that.
It was shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one commercial that I liked that I thought was really funny was the Aquaman commercial, the insurance commercial.
What's his name?
Jason Momoa.
Okay, so This was the best part of it. We just have to tell you. We had a bunch of girls there who were watching the Super Bowl, and he came out, and they're like, woo, he's so sexy, look at his arms, woo. And then I was just like, oh, whatever. Like, yeah, he is, yep. And then all of a sudden, he strips his fucking arms and his chest, and they were like, silent. It was like, you could hear a
But it was
pin
actually
drop.
like really fucking funny.
It was.
Yeah.
But that's why we watch the Super Bowl commercials, because we want to laugh. Doritos, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Budweiser, they always had these funny ass commercials. Some of them are cheesy, but you were
And there felt like there was definitely a lot more serious commercials this year. Like I thought I think it was like the Google.
I don't want to cry. Like,
the
what?
Google one that was like
for the
Alzheimer's, and it's like it was really effective. It was an effective commercial,
but not for the Super Bowl.
Like, not for the Super Bowl, right? Like your audience want to sit there and like have sad.
Well, here's the other thing I want to say. Like they talk about head injuries and all these different things. I know that has nothing really to do, but it's just like football has already got some negative publicity about what's going on. The last thing they need to do is have all these freaking sad commercials. Like, why are we going towards making people sad? Like, is sad sell? Does sad sell? I think funny sells.
I think that,
except for the fact that I don't remember
it's not
what
that sad sells. I think it's like sad pulls at your heartstrings, and when you are emotional about something, you're going to purchase.
But I'm not going to use Google because of that.
Right. Well, so
also
what did
because
you
I
think?
have iPhone.
So I think there was also a lot of criticism, and jumping back to JLO and Shakira, about the sexual nature of their halftime performance.
Shut the fuck up.
And so I wanted to know your opinion on that.
I thought they were very sexual.
And so the criticism is, for the Super Bowl, which has the audience that it has, is it appropriate?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's totally appropriate. So don't get me wrong. So football has a bunch of guys running like, I think they run, it looks like they're running like 30 miles an hour, but they're not. But they look like they're running 30 miles an hour, and then they, boom, slam into each other. Heads, and then they're cussing and they're yelling at each other and they're dancing.
It's basically men at war, but in a safer way. So it's kind of like a very hyper-masculine experience.
Exactly.
It's not safe. I mean, obviously people get injured and all that sort of stuff. Right. So I think we're aligned on that, because I feel the same way. I'm like, okay, like it could be a violent sport, and there's nothing wrong with that.
But if you honestly believe that there was a guy who's suing because he said he's not going to go to heaven now because
I think that's like extreme fringe, right? And people always give those people
close
a
your fucking
platform,
eyes.
which is like so stupid.
But if you've ever seen a Shakira, the point is
Shakira and JLO are like, this is kind of what you're going to get. But what I will say though is like the majority of the audience that's watching the Super Bowl are men, and like, what do you want a halftime show to be? Like,
Exactly. I would not anything other than men in tights. Like, I swear to God.
Right. What are you gonna have? Like the men's ballet?
It doesn't
collective. No, you're gonna have fucking Shakira and JLo looking hot, getting up there, shaking their stuff. And the thing is like, I thought it. I think it's still empowering because they're both very talented, and as I say, very hardworking people that you can't take anything away from, and that's their job, is to be entertainers.
If I was JLo or Shakira, and somebody's like, I'm suing because I'm not getting to heaven now because of the sexual content of the halftime, I'd be like, thank you. They're 43 and 50 years old. That's just the biggest compliment you could ever get.
I totally agree.
Like, you're beautiful, and you got me excited, and that's.
You sure did.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. I won't lie. That Shakira dancing,
your
I was just like.
Lie. You won't lie.
She was in red too. I was like, whoa. Yep.
It's a big Shakira fan here.
Speaking
of pop stars, we're gonna talk a little bit about
I'm gonna have some more.
A pop star / fashion mogul's husband, who is a footballer. So we're talking about David Beckham and his wife, Posh Spice Victoria Beckham.
That was for the European people. You're welcome.
So if you don't know, in Fort Lauderdale, there is a new stadium being built. What was the name of that? What are they actually calling the stadium?
Beckham Stadium.
Are they calling it Beckham Stadium? I thought it was called something else. I don't know.
the soccer team is, well, I'm calling it Beckham Stadium because
We're
he's the one
calling it
fucking
Beckham
putting the
Stadium.
money down.
So it's going to be basically at the...
It used to be Lockhart Stadium. That was what it used to be.
Right. So it's going to be at the...
where Lockhart Stadium is.
The airport. What's it called? The executive airport?
Fort Lauderdale
Yeah,
Airport.
the Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport.
Right.
So originally they planned to put the stadium in Miami, but at least for the first 2 seasons, starting next March, Beckham's new stadium and team, Inter Miami, will play in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. And then move over to Miami once the stadium is finished. So basically, they're building this stadium, and one of their main thrusts for that was they couldn't get the job done in Miami, which is what really excited us in Fort Lauderdale, because this is going to bring a lot of money, jobs, attention, notoriety here. But they're only potentially going to be here for a few years and then disappear back to Miami. So what do we think about that?
Buckle your seatbelts. I'm really passionate about this type of shit, especially when it comes to building a stadium, getting people excited, and then leaving. I hate that shit.
Yeah, like, you got to come, right?
You got to come. It's rule number 1. Or is it rule number 2? I don't remember. But it's a rule. But here's the thing. People are coming. And they're going to show up. They've already sold out the stadium. Right. The stadium that they want to build is in Miami.
It opens in March, right?
March 14th. I think that the first game, they're going to be ready for the first game.
Good luck, because when I saw it a couple weeks ago, it did not look like it was ready for March.
I think it was a month ago.
It was a couple weeks ago.
Okay, cool. So, whatever. They're saying they're going to be ready.
Fuck you, Will.
So the point is that when... But here's the thing. In Miami, it's they didn't even want it. Fort Lauderdale was opened up our arms and was like, bring it in. And I know there was some people that were like, oh, we don't need that we have enough traffic as it is. Like, I know that the mayor was super excited for it. In my words, I think the mayor was basically like, fuck you guys, we need this. And it's true. I know the mayor didn't say that, but I know he was thinking it. But at the same time, Miami didn't want them. We wanted them, but yet they're going to leave us in 2 years. You can't even buy a box seat right now. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I just want to know what the 2 years are contingent upon, because I feel like if it goes really well, they'll probably stay, right?
No, but they're already looking for a place in Miami. They're already looking. They're trying. I think that, if I could be wrong, I've read a few articles about it. They are actually in the process of negotiating right now to then build the stadium where they wanted, where they said no multiple times.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I think it's a good thing for Fort Lauderdale. So, as a huge supporter of my city, I think that it adds so much value. And but
what is it? But you say it's good for your city. So think about this though.
Yeah,
in 2 years,
the economic impact, right? But I don't know if that's true. All right, so maybe they're looking. Let's see how it unfolds. We'll double back on this and see kind of.
I want to be angry now.
I know, Will.
I just want to be angry now. But the thing is
So start talking about how much JLO sucks again, and then I'll get angry with you.
No, I won't. I don't. That was very passionate. You almost poked me in the eye. So you're going to poke you in the eye.
All right. So talk to us.
About what?
Well, you said that for Sport Pop and Fort, you had something you wanted to add today, new.
It was actually more about the commercials.
Oh, okay, cool, which we already talked about.
Which we did.
Fantastic. So that's good. Let's move on then. We're just going to keep rolling right along. We're going to talk a little bit about one of our favorite subjects to talk about, which is style. If you'll notice, Mr. Fuller here, always so fashionably dressed. And me?
Dude, you're drinking a Miller Lite.
I'm drinking a Miller Lite and a cutoff sweatshirt, so that just tells you a lot about who I am. But what I will say is this gentleman right here has helped me immensely. I'm not a big fashion guy. I've never really been. When I was growing up, my mom and my sister would take me shopping, and I was just like, okay. And I never really got into it as an adult. I've worked in gyms most of my adult life. So to kind of be figuring out my style profile as I get older has been really cool, and Will has absolutely helped with that.
Yeah, no, and I'm always willing to help. I always want to be able to help people. I think the number one thing is that if you want to look good, because I'm going to be honest with you. When I go to these events and when I go to networking events, I see people and I'm like, do you fucking care? Do you care about...
Some of them don't, or some of them just... And, I think some of them don't know. What?
No, they do know. It's around.
I don't think they do.
But you can see other people.
But I just think they're not prioritizing it. I think a lot of guys don't prioritize their fashion. It's just not something they wake up and think about because they think, my work ethic, my talent my personality is going to get me far, and it will, but we do live in a very visual world, and especially as you're doing networking and advancing in your career, your look is a piece of how people are going to perceive you, make judgments about you, and you kind of have to play the game a little bit. And I know that the better dressed that I am, the more confident I feel
exactly
in a situation.
No, and that's the thing. The best example I always use for when people are getting dressed or looking good, what I always say to people, because people ask me, like, why do you always care about how you look? Like, and to be completely honest with you, I always remember when I was like in acting class a long, long time ago, when I was in high school, I remember my teacher said that we're going to put on our costumes. And I was like, why? They're hot as fuck. Like, why are we going to put these on now? And she said, because when you put on the costumes, you become the character. And so I always remember that, and I thought about that for, I don't think what I'm wearing is a costume, but I thought about that when I go to a networking event, when I go out in public. When you put on the outfit that fits and looks good, you become that person. You become confident.
I
you
agree.
are able to fit in, go in through crowds, and feel really good about who you are, and I think that people forget that.
Yeah, and I think a great man once said, you should never worry about being the best dressed person in the room.
That's my line.
But you should worry about being the worst dressed person in the room.
I do. I think.
And actually, I had that situation the other day with somebody I was at an event with. They were like, "Oh, I feel overdressed for this event," and I was like, "No, let me lay some words of advice on you, my friend."
I love that you use my line.
I did use your line.
But if you use that all the time, you're going to walk into the room feeling confident. Now, I've had somebody text me and be like, does that mean I should wear a tux? I'm like, you're not fucking listening to what I'm saying. Obviously, understand the room, read the room. And, that's just something I always say. So
read the room?
Read what's going on. Like
Is it the room or the room?
It's room.
Okay, good.
Oh my God. I was like, did I say rum?
No, but Tim says rum.
He's wrong. Sorry, Tim. But there's a lot of words that I'll agree with you. Rum is something that you take shots of or put into mixed drinks. Yeah, actually. Rum and Coke.
So what do we got today, Will, on tap for us?
So the one thing I always wanted to, I want to combine the Man About Town with the what's going on. It's Valentine's Day, and I know you love Valentine's Day. Tell us how much you love it.
Valentine's Day.
I love.
I'm just fucking getting bit here. Okay, so here's why I don't like Valentine's Day. I feel like it's fake, I feel like it's cheap, and I feel like it's inauthentic.
Cheap?
It's cheap in the sense that, like, I feel like it trivializes the hard work and...
cheap. Okay.
Yeah, like, I just feel like it makes it, like...
Because every man out there and every woman's out there and every whatever is, like, cheap?
Every whatever. No, I just feel like it's cheap in the sense that, like, it seems to trivialize and turn relationships, especially marriages or long-term relationships, into, like, little, two sentences and, like, these hearts and, like, this kind of, like, googly, like, or... like just kind of lame image, and I don't know, and maybe I need to lighten up a little bit and have a little bit more fun with it and just appreciate it for what it is, but I just always felt that it was like fucking lame and just an excuse to spend money for no reason. I don't know.
So if you're going to have to, which I think you should, spend money for no reason because it is Valentine's Day, whether you like it or not, it's something that I definitely, if you have a significant other or somebody you're trying to impress, you should definitely go out. And one thing I always want to say is there's a couple of places that I would recommend. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it. These are going to be locations down here in Fort Lauderdale.
Right. So one of the places I wanted to talk about is, you ever been to Mastro's?
No.
You've never been to Mastro's?
You'll find that I haven't been to a lot of nice restaurants.
Okay. Well, if you wear that, they won't let you in. So
then I won't go there.
Yeah, they'll be like, sorry, you. Didn't you weren't you not allowed to go into a place because you were wearing sleeveless something?
No, I was wearing a tank top. Oh yeah, it was a Christmas party. I was wearing I was wearing like a trashy, funny Christmas tank top that was like a swole Santa Claus. And we went to...
What was it again?
Sparrow. It was just
Swole Santa Claus.
Yeah, it was swole Santa Claus. On top of, what's the name of the hotel that Sparrow's in?
What do you mean? You're talking about the Del Mar?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sparrow's the name of the rooftop bar, right?
Yeah. That's why you confused me.
Yeah. So they wouldn't let me up to the top of a rooftop bar in a hotel.
They were like,
no,
bro.
You can't come in there like this.
That's awesome. Anyways, so example of why, and this is why I'm trying to help you out, is one thing I always say is that if you're going to go to a place like Mastro's, it's a dress-up place. Does that mean you can't wear jeans? You can totally wear jeans. But my recommendation is suit jacket with, a nice button-up shirt, tuck it in, please, for the love of God. I hate these new commercials about untucked button-up shirts. If it's hanging down there, it looks wrinkled, just tuck it in. It doesn't look bad.
There's actually a brand called Untuck It.
And I say, fuck it.
Fuck it.
No, because
Can you wear this, what you're wearing right now, like the t-shirt with the blazer on it?
To Mastro's?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, it's too nice. It's not nice enough for that.
No, yeah,
Okay.
no, you need to wear a button-up. It's a really nice place, kind of expensive. But also what I always try to say is, you should be, copying whoever you're going with in the sense of if they want to dress up with them. I've seen so many people out and about where their partner is, really dressed nice. Yeah, and then they're dressed up in, jeans and a T-shirt. I'm like, dude, could you just give it some effort?
I know a gay couple that is always like that. There's one that's very clearly into style and fashion and one that is just not.
And I hate that because you know what? The fact is you think about that.
It's mismatched.
It is mismatched. But the thing is, it's just try.
Yeah,
so Masters is a great place to go. I would definitely recommend, it's Monday right now for this podcast. If you're listening to it on Monday, if you're listening to this on Friday, well then, sorry, you're not going to be able to
shit out of luck.
But I would recommend getting the water type seating. There's one right by the canal. They're beautiful, and I guarantee they'll probably have some specials, and they'll do some stuff for you. If you really want to impress, that's one way to go.
Love it.
Now, if you're trying to if you're like LJ, and they're like, fuck Valentine's Day, then I would recommend if you want to go out to eat, Here and Now is the bar that I've been to, and I have to tell you right now, great place. It's chill. It's got the cool vibe. What I'm wearing now would be something that you could wear.
I apologize for my Sambuca Miller Lite burps that keep happening.
Please, because you're blowing them towards me, and it's fucking nasty, and it's more Miller Lite burps than they are Sambuca. Because if they were Sambuca, they would smell like black licorice.
At least it's not farts.
Exactly. Aww. Anyway, so I know it is what it is.
Anyways,
so that's another place. Here Now is a great place. It just opened, but I've been there. The environment is chill. If you just kind of want to just have a place to go out to eat, but not feel like you're going all out and all that, I think that's a great place.
Okay.
But still, again, it's Valentine's
And now in
Day.
terms of a budget, is it, Mastro's probably is going to be a little bit more
Mastro's is
expensive,
way more expensive.
But Here Now, more affordable?
Definitely more affordable.
So if you're looking for options, and it fits your budget, Here Now is a good option.
Now, another place, if you're looking for a place and you're like, Will, please tell me a place that I could really impress somebody and I really want to do something that's a little bit different, there's a place that's called Casablanca Cafe. And what I would recommend is call them up and...
At the airport?
Nope.
Oh.
It's on A1A. It's really close to the ocean. And totally not near the airport because that wouldn't impress anybody.
At all.
But
actually, that's not true. There's a restaurant at the airport, at the executive airport, that's really cool.
Oh, you're talking about the executive airport?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about Fort Lauderdale Airport.
No,
I was like, there's nothing sexy about a fucking FedEx plane flying over your head. Just saying.
Anyways, better brunch spot than anything.
Yes. So Casablanca is a great place, and you can get it where if you get on the balcony, it's obviously just for two people, and there's about 1, 2, 3, 4.
But what if you're in a throuple?
Then
is that
don't go there.
discriminating?
If you're in a throuple, that's just no, I don't even want to. No, not going to think about it. So, throuple.
All right, we won't talk about throuples today.
Thank you, because I'm like, throuple, like that's 3 couples?
That is, no, not 3 couples. That's 3 people in one couple. We don't have to talk about it. We'll talk about it another day.
Thank you.
Different kinds of relationships that are out there.
Yeah. If you're in that, I wouldn't recommend it because there's not going to be enough room.
Okay.
Because you want to impress the people out on the balcony, and what it will do is you'll be able to overlook the ocean. And if you get it at night, you can hear the waves. Yeah, there's going to be traffic and stuff, but it's a lot more romantic. But here's the thing. They do sometimes play live music, but they have a speaker outside. So you can hear the live music. You can hear the music that they play, but you're also getting the view of the ocean. It's very relaxing. You get the nice breeze. It's February, so it's going to be really beautiful out. You're not going to be sweating. And that is a place that I would recommend. But again, call in advance. Say this is where you'd like. And one thing I love about them is they're so accommodating. They will take care of you.
Yeah. And I do want to say we have a member at our gym that is in a throuple, and we are very supportive and open. And so all different types of relationships are welcome here at
No, I agree.
RoxFire.
I just didn't know what a throuple was.
It's totally fine. Now you know. Do you have, is that it? You have 3, or do you have another one?
No, I think that's it for people. If you
Cool.
have any more, definitely feel free to hit me up
send
on
us a message. Let us know.
Facebook. Yeah, just hit me up, and I can recommend a bunch more places. But I mean, I don't want to just go out there. If you're a restaurant that wants me to talk about it, let me know, and I'll visit you, and I'll come over and I'll see what you got. And
we are super interactive on the BROxFire page on Facebook. So if you haven't yet, please like us. There will be a link in this podcast
up to 200
to like our profile, and then you can always send us a message. One of us will answer back. If you don't want to talk to one of us, just like specifically say like Will or LJ, and then we'll make sure that the right person answers that for you.
Oh, because I said if you don't want to talk to either of us, I was like, then don't.
That's talk to one of us. So another option that I wanted to put on the table for Thanksgiving, for Valentine's Day, is you could also stay home if you are also on a budget, and you could make a nice dinner together, or make a dinner for your significant other and watch a movie and do something at home romantic. I know some of us, after a long week, don't necessarily want to go out and like have to deal with the rush of Valentine's Day, especially maybe you're listening to this on Thursday, Valentine's Day tomorrow, and you can't get a reservation anywhere. Then, dude, Google recipe, find something easy. You know how easy the internet makes things these days, and I think you'd really impress whoever you're trying to impress.
If you're not, I think that's a great idea. And if you're not a good cook, if you know that it might taste disgusting, my recommendation for everyone is give it a shot. But make sure you drink the wine, the tequila, beforehand.
First.
Yeah. Just start fucking being like, here you go, honey. And then just drink and then drink. And
your backup plan will be Domino's.
Yeah.
Or
get the door.
Yeah, exactly. Or DiGiorno. Get a DiGiorno, put it in the freezer, make your dinner, and then if it doesn't work out, and they're like, and you can tell it sucks, and they're like, oh, it's really good. You can be like, you know what? I've got some DiGiorno.
No. Say this. Be like, if I could have some fucking pizza right now, if I could make pizza just appear, would you be happy? And they'd be like, yes. It'd be like, boom.
Boom, you're in. I love
Magic.
it. Awesome. Cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And Valentine's Day,
what's your feeling on? Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't ask you. It's so rude of me. Such a rude asshole.
What was that question I said? No, but I think the thing is really important is that Valentine's Day, I think it's just the day to show the person who you're with that you care about them, that you're thinking about them. Because I'm going to be honest, there's days where we're out all the time or you're doing something all the time. This is just that moment to stop and just be like, I care about you. I remember when I was a kid, we had to hand out Valentine cards.
Valentine's at class,
at school. And I just remember being like, this one's going to be for the one I love. And I brought it over to that person, and that person was like,
fucking creep.
Ew. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. I was like, she just said ew. I'd be like, just take that back. But I mean, to be honest with you, it's that moment where you take.
Was she like, ew?
It was ew. It was really ew. And I was just like, and then I remember because I have 4 sisters, and I remember telling one of my sisters, I don't remember what it was. I think it was my sister Melissa, and she was just like, well, what the fuck do you think? I mean, ew, gross is right. I mean, yeah. And I was just like, one day I'll be a handsome man.
One day you'll be handsome.
And, well, one day. I'm still waiting. But
so, Will, one question I did want to ask you is, what is your style tip of the week?
I think that my style tip for the week is don't be afraid of wearing jeans to events. If you are a gym owner, or if you're the type of person that doesn't want to represent in a suit and you want to go to a networking event, wear jeans. But here's my thing. Stay away from bootcut jeans unless you're a cowboy and you have boots, or you're a construction worker and you have boots on. But you wouldn't wear those to a networking event, so stay away from them because you're going to want to wear dress shoes. And if you're going to wear dress shoes with jeans, my recommendation is either a slim fit, depending on your body style, or a slim fit. And again, I say depending on your body style. So you have big calves. They call them calf daddy.
They sure do.
So, and he's got a bigger upper body also. So what my recommendation, they already can see that. They don't, you have fucking a sleeveless hoodie.
That's right.
Obviously they can see that you have a bigger upper body.
It's not big enough, Will.
What I can say is that for somebody like you would be a slim fit because you should wear a slim fit jean, but they won't fit.
And I stayed away from slim fit for a while, but you had recommended those jeans a couple weeks ago for my
skinny.
I meant to
say skinny. I would recommend a skinny, but
no, we did slim.
I know, because skinny wouldn't fit you.
Skinny would not fit me.
So slim would be like a skinny for you.
Yeah, and I had stayed away from them for a while because I was like, I feel really like I'm showing off, but like, There's nothing
You
wrong
love
with like
showing
you
up.
No, but seriously, like you work hard for the body that you have. It's okay to kind of like flex a little bit with it, you know?
Right.
Not like actually flex, but like.
Oh, you were
in the
flexing on those
figurative
jeans. It was pretty good.
Flex.
So my point is though, so here's the other thing though, know your body. So
Right.
if you're a little heavy set on the top and you know that you're a little like you're big but not big like him, like you're fat, that's fine. If you know you're fat and you're like I love it, that's great. But don't wear skinny jeans. Overweight. Why do we can't say fat anymore? I know they've taken so many words away from us. I can't say them, but one of them, do not take fat away from me.
I own a gym, and
yes, that's right. Okay.
And we are accepting of all different body types because wherever you are right now is the path to getting where you want to be, and you probably don't want to be overweight, and I know some people struggle with that.
Right.
It's okay.
It's called stop eating. But my point is like, if you're putting food in your mouth and you consistently eat, it's going to happen. People are like, no, you don't. It's called I eat too much. And trust me, I was big.
We do glorify, in this country right now, we do glorify being overweight, and it's unhealthy. It puts a strain on our healthcare system. It puts a strain on your heart. It's not the optimal way to live. We want to help you with that. There's nothing wrong if that's where you're at right now. Don't feel bad about yourself in a way that you're like, fuck me, but know that you have the power to change, and it's all you. Your choices.
And here's the thing. I'm going to be honest. I want to continue talking about jeans, but one thing I do want to mention is that, and this is not a plug for RoxFire, but it is a plug for RoxFire. But here's the thing. Listen up, people.
I'm all ears.
Yeah. This is going to be the quietest he's ever been. So what it's going to deal with is that you're going to get a community here that's going to motivate you. So if you're the type of person that needs to work out in the morning because you're so busy, there's a group of people here in the morning that will literally call you out. I'll be one of them. If you don't show up, if you said, I want to work out in the morning, hey, Will, can you come out and work with me here at RoxFire? I will be there. And if you
don't be the asshole who doesn't show up.
Yeah, and if you are the asshole, we'll blast you on Facebook, on his website, on RoxFire Fitness. So I will. You shake your head. I will blast you on. If you don't show up and you say you're going to be there at 5:45, I will blast your ass.
You know who's always here at 5:45? Danielle. And if you haven't met Danielle, she is a treat and a treasure. So she will keep you motivated.
Well, you know who else comes in at 5:50 or 6 o'clock? Casey.
Not as of this week, my friend.
Oh, I know she's going to Australia.
She's moving to Australia. Casey, we're going to miss you so fucking much.
I know it is. She is an awesome person. She is she's so accepting. She's motivating. She will yell at you when you're working out, and just accept it because she
also will come in late, and then like right before we start the actual workout, she'll be like, I need to pee.
I know.
And runs to the bathroom, and we're just
it's called the KCP. Casey. Yeah, it's funny as hell. But she's going to Australia, and I hope she enjoys it, and I hope she has a great time. But I also hope that she comes back because she's fun. So anyways, back to the jeans. Real quick.
Jeans.
So if
wrap it up.
If you have a bigger upper body and you want to wear skinny jeans, don't. Because the best example I always use is there's two things as an example. Have you ever seen the movie Despicable Me?
No, I have not.
Are you being serious?
Yes, I'm being serious because I think you asked this before, and I thought you already knew the answer was no. No is the answer.
Shit. So anyways, Despicable Me is a character. His name is Gru, and he has like a really big upper body, and then he looks like he has spandex on. And the reason why they showed that picture of him is because it's funny. It's like a funny cartoon.
Is that why, Will?
That is exactly why. They've actually drew that picture because they thought it was like a funny look. So if you have a big upper body and you're fat and you have skinny legs and you have skinny jeans, that's what you're going to look like. Or best example is like if you take two toothpicks and you put them into like potatoes.
Okay.
That will be you in skinny jeans if you have big feet. So another thing is if you have bigger feet than your legs, do not wear skinny jeans because you overemphasize that.
Okay. Fair enough.
So that's about it on jeans. I'm just saying, like, people always go, I want to wear boot cut, I want to wear loose jeans. I'll be like, okay, fine, but if you're going to a network event, don't.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Will.
You're so welcome.
I know. All right. So I want to talk a little bit today about branding as part of the Go Pro Bro section. So let's talk a little bit about branding, Will. What is a brand? And when I say brand, what I really mean is basically any sort of concept, anything that is an identity that represents a product or a service. So what is a brand that you find that is really memorable to you?
All right, so I know this is the obvious one because everyone knows about it, but I always have to use Apple as an example.
And what do you like about Apple?
I think because they know who they are and they want to make everything, they want to be, it's almost like they want to be not the best, they want to be better than everyone else. Because if you're the best, then you're at the top and you no longer can get better because you're the best. But if you're better, then you know that you're always striving to be the best, and every single day they want to come up with something new. And people are like, oh, they came out with the 11, now they're coming out with the 12. But isn't that a good thing, that you have a brand that is something that they always want to get better?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge kind of hallmark of Apple, and I think
you just said Hallmark. That's another brand.
No, yeah, it's true. But I think what they do really well is if you are part of their brand, or if you believe in their brand, you're a part of their brand. So if you're an Apple person, you are identified as someone who is a hard worker and always wants to get better and improve, because that is what they're always putting out there. So I had to change my brand, and all I really actually had to do with my brand with RoxFire was get specific about my brand. So I started as a CrossFit gym, and as I went through the process of being a business owner and understanding where I fit in the market, what I tried to understand, or what I had to figure out, was what is RoxFire, right? Different from, being a CrossFit affiliate, which is the affiliate system is basically you pay CrossFit to use their name and you can do whatever you want in your gym. But I didn't always...
Wait a minute. So you had to be specific on that?
No, so there's a difference between a franchise and an affiliate, right? So if I want to buy a franchise, I'm basically paying money to buy a whole system. Right?
Oh, shit.
That has oversight from corporate, right? Mm-hmm. CrossFit is affiliate, meaning that you can pay them to use their name in all of your materials, online marketing, whatever it is, but there's no guidance on how to run your business. You basically can do whatever you want. But you can also use...
So they don't have CrossFit auditors coming in?
Not at all.
Okay.
So the cool thing about it is it does give you the ability to get creative as you want. You could go to 2 different CrossFit gyms and get 2 totally different experiences. However, there are some things that unify what CrossFit is. And as I am thinking about building towards the future, so if you're someone out there who has your own business or you're an entrepreneur, you want to think about, even if you have a service, like say you're a financial planner, right? What separates you from the other financial planners out there? And what that is what is your branding? So I read this really awesome book called Primal Branding by Patrick Hanlon. And the whole idea
that is a creepy as fuck picture, though.
What is it?
I don't know, dude. What the fuck is that picture? If
you walked in,
I
didn't even notice that.
If you walk in to somebody wearing that,
I don't know. So
it's got lips.
So the whole idea behind this book is create zealots for your brand, your company, and your future. Because if you have a specific brand, the brand is going to be a belief system. And so your customers are actually buying into the belief system of your brand. And you kind of hit on that with Apple, right? Yeah. The brand is the emotional glue that holds people together, right? Okay. So let's talk about RoxFire, for example.
I would love to talk about RoxFire. So I'm an OG. You
are an OG.
It doesn't look like it, but I am.
Bro, you have gotten so much more fit.
I know. I'm able to do many more pull-ups like nobody's business because of this place. It's because of the different ways to do pull-ups. But we were doing CrossFit, and that was his brand at the time, and it wasn't you.
It wasn't me. And I think it was I think when you start a business, there takes a lot of confidence to even do that. But then on top of that, to have the confidence to be like, I'm going to do this my way, was a hurdle that I had to get over.
Well, remember when I asked you that one time, I'm like, hey, did you do this workout? And what did you say? You're like, no.
Right. And so I think there was an authenticity problem that I was having, as I was saying, here's my product. I know, right?
Holy shit.
I was saying, here's my product. Here's how we're doing it. But I wasn't living my product. And the funny thing was, I'm really sorry about that burp. The funny thing was, I had always, with fitness, never been dogmatic about anything. I had always done weightlifting, powerlifting, CrossFit, bodybuilding, anything fitness, I had liked to try and incorporate into my routine. So what I had to do with RoxFire was delve a little bit deeper into the story that I was trying to tell with my brand.
Which was like your ability and to kind of create the body that you have.
Right, create the body that I have. But I had always had the tagline, train bold to live wild.
I love that line. I love to just live wild, but then when he's like, train bold, Will, I'm like, oh, okay,
which
here I come.
Means come into the gym, work your butt off, right?
Literally.
Make it happen for yourself so you can live your wildest and best life out there. So I took that and I expanded upon that. So as an entrepreneur out there, when you're looking at creating your brand, you might start with a very, very big canvas. And then you need to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller into your niche. Now, this product right here, the BROxFire product, is similar to the brand, right? We're a bunch of bros talking about
exactly
all different things. Our gym skews about 65 men, 35% women. So we do have a little bit more of a male identification with the brand anyways. We love women at the gym. We want more of them. But what I'm doing well is connecting with dudes, right?
Right.
So what this book does is it breaks it down into 6 different pieces of what your primal brand is. There's
the 6. What are the 6?
So we have the creation story.
That's 1.
The creed.
The creed? Wait a minute.
Creed, yes. And I'll get into them in a second.
Okay, because I've heard I played a video game called Assassin's Creed.
Yes. Icons, rituals, pagans or non-believers, sacred words, and the leader. Okay? So let's kind of go into this one by one. So the creation story. When somebody comes to your business, they want to understand where you came from and how you got there. Is there a creation story of a brand that you like that you always remember, like, oh, this brand started because of X?
I mean, you're putting me on the spot. So
I am putting you on the spot.
But no, I mean, honestly, they started because of this.
Like you talk about Apple, right? What's the famous story there? It started in Steve Jobs' basement in California when he was, or garage in California, right?
Right. I think of the Facebook also, like how Facebook
right.
was just basically for people to get their face out there, but also just it started as like nothing and then it grew because I think
it started in college, right? That they were at, I think it was Harvard, right? And they couldn't find a way to connect with their fellow classmates.
Holy shit, how do you know that?
In an easy way. Well, because I think that's part of the DNA of a lot of these brands, like especially a brand that I'm passionate about, the story, your creation story. So for example, the creation story I always tell about me and my brand is I got divorced, I tore my pec, and I lost my job.
And by the way, if you get an opportunity to go to RoxFire Fitness and watch this fucking guy work out with a torn pec, he's got this sleeve on, and he's figuring out different ways to work out.
It was 2 years ago. Are you talking about the video from 2 years ago?
I'm talking about torn pec, though, when you tore your pec.
When I did tear my pec.
Yeah,
yes,
and so
yes.
look at these videos that he's got that he's posting from 2 years ago. I mean, obviously you can tell he is a motivated type of guy that likes to work out. He was like a sad puppy. Working out.
I know, I had my little sling
sleeve, and he's like, had to figure out how to do lunges. And he put this freaking weight to him, and he's standing up on. First of all, I was like, what is he doing? What is he doing?
I was figuring out how to squat.
How to squat with weight.
Yeah.
And then he got up there. It took me like a few minutes to figure it out. And then I saw him, I'm like, oh, that's what he's doing. And then he started doing squats with a heavy weight, and I was just like, fuck this guy.
But that whole story and what you're talking about ties into the brand identity. Right. So when you're developing your brand, like what is unique about you and your life and your story that is going to help tell the story of your brand, right? So that's kind of the creation story. Where do you come from? The creed is Nike's creed would be just do it, right?
So it would be like your slogan.
Right, your slogan,
okay,
right?
Cool.
So for us, it's train bold, live wild, right?
Right. No, I agree.
Train, look, and feel like a superhero.
Or look sexy naked. Or
look sexy naked. Or like, let's see, let's talk about this with your Sambuca.
Back off.
Is there a creed here that they have like a
it's called, if you're Italian, you drink it. Give it to me.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, Miller Lite, right? For example.
If you want nasty burps.
A fine Pilsner beer, right? That's what they're offering their product as. And those things people remember. They remember Just Do It from Nike. Your icons. So
hold on, wait a minute. Let's think of another creed.
Okay. Let's see. Like, what's a good... The creed all the time is in BNI. So in your BNI group, everybody has a creed, or a lot of people have a creed to their brand.
We have a slogan that we say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, can you give me an example of somebody's slogan?
Oh, shit, you're putting me on the spot. Minimum Press, the first and last in printing.
Exactly.
Minimum Press, Maria Medina. See that? I remember that.
Yeah, so it's like those things people remember about your brand, and then when you're talking to other people about your brand, you're like, oh yeah, train bold, live wild, right? It just comes off the, tip of the tongue.
And I love that because I think that's cool because you have it on the outside. But people ask me about that all the time, like live bold, live wild. And what it means is like you're going crazy in the gym, you're working your ass off, but it's okay to go out and you have a drink, enjoy food with your friends.
Enjoy your life. Yeah, like I've never been dogmatic about like, oh, you gotta just eat your chicken and your rice and go home and go to sleep and wake up and train. It's like train hard here so you can go live your best life outside.
Awesome.
So the next one, icons, right? Like I'm wearing my icon on my shirt. It's the logo. It's on everything that I have. And that is
like what's a popular logo? Nike.
The Nike swoosh.
Starbucks.
The Apple. The Apple.
Like bitten.
Right. The mermaid from Starbucks. What's another good one? Like the Discover. Discover like the two circles, right, on the Discover card.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Or
is that MasterCard?
That's MasterCard.
MasterCard. You know what I mean. Or the Trojan guy or Spartan guy for American Express.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like the Trojan guy from like the
Trojan
condoms.
man.
I was like, yeah! Safe sex,
right,
people.
But there you go. But that's an icon, right? That's something you remember. And what I just said, Trojan man, that's the creed, right? So it's like the brand is well developed, right?
Right.
The next are the rituals. So when you come to my gym, or when you used to come to my gym, it was just you were coming to take class. Now when you come to class, you come to one of three classes. We have Fuse, we have Rev, and we have Build. Fuse is our combination strength and conditioning class. Rev is our conditioning class, and Build is our strength class. Yes.
Where did you come up with that?
Honestly,
I really actually want to fucking know.
The names or the classes?
The classes.
So when I was taking a deep dive, I wanted to kind of create unique experiences for people. And for me, getting a total picture of fitness, you have to do strength and you have to do conditioning. But sometimes it's good to bias a little bit more one way and bias a little bit more the other way to really dial in. And especially for hypertrophy, so our strength class is really focusing on building strong muscles, right?
Okay.
And that's one component that I know people really want. Our conditioning class is really about building a healthier heart and better endurance so that you can go longer and stronger. And that doesn't just mean in class. That means if you're playing a game of pickup basketball, that means if you're playing with your kids, you have the energy, right?
Or if there's a tsunami and you need to run.
Right, exactly. And then the Fuse class is like, how can I take both those elements, throw them together, and just put you to the test, right?
Right, so if you need to like run from a tsunami and then climb a building and then pick up a boulder, that's fucking everything.
And then what I did from there is I took those and I assigned a specific superhero to each class,
which
right?
is one of them looks like somebody.
His name is the Commander.
And who does he look like?
You just have to check it out on the website. Who does the Commander look like?
Okay.
But the idea is to visually tie that, right? That's an icon that ties to the rituals. Now the pagans is an interesting one.
That is an interesting word. What does that mean?
So it's the non-believers. So basically it's the people that are opposite to your brand, right? So if we're talking about Apple, then PC is the pagan,
Android.
Right?
Oh my God, we had such an awesome conversation in an Uber about the difference between Apple and Android with Ty. And Ty is an Android person, and I basically just said, I'm sorry.
Right, because you're so bought into your brand and he's so bought into his brand. And even the genius marketing behind the Super Bowl halftime show, you've got the Shakira contingent and you've got the JLO contingent, and it creates a better
Shakira.
Right, it creates a story, right? And the story is Shakira's style, which is much more Latin, much more Latin America, and JLO's style,
sexy,
which is much more American,
aggressive.
Broadway. You know, it's a very different. There are two different types of palettes, but it creates a really, really cool story, right? The story of the Super Bowl halftime show is the juxtaposition between Shakira
even some
and
of
JLO.
Even some of the commercials. I know Tide was very aggressive. I talked to a few people like, who is their competition? Apparently, it's Gain.
Tide.
Tide's.
Are you talking about Tide?
Tide's detergent.
The detergent. The
pods.
The pods. I love the pods.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is that they're like, you got to understand, 5.6 million per commercial. And,
it's nuts.
And here, 5.6. Yeah, 5.6. And yet they had like 5. And I was like, who's their competition? And people are like, well, Gain and all.
There's a lot of detergents.
Yeah, but
But Tide's awesome because it has that orange color that you always see and you always recognize. I think also the shape of their pod thing is very unique.
Yeah, and it's just very like Tide. But you know what I mean? If you were to play the, I think it's like, what's the one with Steve Harvey? Where they're like, survey says.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Price is Right? No, not The Price is Right.
Oh,
Steve Harvey. Oh my
know,
God.
bro. I don't know, but
and it's like survey
Hollywood
says.
Squares?
What? No, not fucking Hollywood Squares. Holy crap! I've lost it. It's
right,
where
whatever.
they. Well, no, when they
You're
have the
always
thing. We're
losing
not
it.
going to talk about it. Hold on. It's the one where they're like.
Jeopardy? I don't know. Fuck. What's your fucking point, Will?
My point is that they have a thing at the top where they were like, name a detergent, and the majority of the people would say this, and it would be like ding ding ding, and then they would win. If you were to say name a popular detergent, you wouldn't fucking say all. You wouldn't say Gain. You would say
Tide.
Right.
Just like Coke and Pepsi, right? Coke is one of the most, actually, we visited the Coke factory with Leadership Fort Lauderdale. It is, besides hello, one of the most popular words in the entire world that people know. Isn't that nuts that your brand is one of the most popular words in the world?
Well, I mean, it's not their brand, though. But yeah, like
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, no matter, like, the crazy thing is, when I go to Poland, and if you really just don't know how to speak Polish, but you're really thirsty, just be like...
Coca-Cola.
Oh, no, don't even say Coca-Cola. Just say, I want a Coke.
And they know what that means. And that's branding.
You'll either get a white powder or a drink.
Okay, so what are we doing? We're going on our cell phone?
Well, no, really, I'm really bothered by this because I need to figure out what the fucking Steve Harvey TV show is. And people are like, it's this, but I don't have time.
Well, I'm trying to have a conversation with you. This is one of the rudest things people can do is when you're in a conversation with them and they get on their phone. And you're like, okay, guess that I'm not important anymore.
Nope, you're not.
All right, did you find your fucking Steve Harvey whatever?
Family Feud. The whole Steve Harvey Family Feud. That's the name of it.
Okay, great. Good story, Will. All right, moving on. Actually, I want to talk about the pagans or the non-believers to my brand, right? So I talk about CrossFit now as being a juxtaposing brand and Orange
So they're
Theory.
now your pagans?
They're the non-believers, right?
But yet we do the movements.
But we don't do CrossFit as it's written, right?
Okay.
We don't use heavy barbells. We don't do Olympic weightlifting.
In the
we
build-
don't do,
in the build
we
you
don't
were
do
doing it.
high skill gymnastics work. But we're doing
high
bodybuilding and powerlifting moves. We're not doing CrossFit. And
Okay.
CrossFit is generally seen as cleans, jerks, snatches, and
If you don't do CrossFit, you have no fucking idea what those
if
words
you
are.
do, then you do. There's muscle ups. There's kipping pull-ups. We don't do a lot of that.
Nope, thank God.
of that stuff. And so what I say is that my brand is in between CrossFit and Orange Theory. Orange Theory is known as being very cardio heavy. You're on a treadmill. It's lighter weights. CrossFit's super heavy lifting, high intensity, in the sense that you're doing these heavy barbell lifts and high skill gymnastics movements. And I'm right in between. We don't do the heavy stuff, but we go heavier than you'd find in Orange Theory.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Yes, sir.
So
My whole point is, let me finish my thought. My
Okay,
whole point
I'm
is the non-believers is defining your brand by what you are not. Does that make sense?
no.
You're being defined. You're defining yourself by what you are not, right? Apple's
You just said
defined-
this. Hold on. That's like somebody saying something, and you're like, "Do you not understand that?"
Well, it's
no, and
drawing
then you
the
repeated the
distinction.
same
I mean,
thing.
it's what candidates do, right? Running for president or whatever. They're saying, "I am this. That person is this. I am not them." Like it's.
Oh,
it's
okay. See,
it's-
that's
it's-
better. You
it's
explained
that
it better.
It's that juxtaposition.
You didn't repeat yourself. you literally. I go. I didn't understand that, and then you repeated yourself again.
All right. Continue.
You continue.
So CrossFit also has its own heroes and villains. It has its own creed, its own, like, the CrossFit Games athletes. Those are like the icons, right? I don't have
Right.
that in my brand. My icons are my 3 superheroes. So it's like creating your own specific story that tells your brand.
So can I ask you a question?
You just did, yep. And you can ask me another one.
I'm gonna ask 2 questions now. The other question is have you noticed a difference because you took that leap of faith?
Yes.
Have you noticed a difference?
100%. My gym has grown astronomically since I've created my own brand because it's authentic to me.
It's you.
It's me. It's my brand.
And one thing I do love about it is that I know that when I'm doing this workout, I don't need to be like, as I'm freaking dying and knowing that I'm dying in a good way, and like my arms are tired or my everything is tired. I know now the person that did this workout is him.
Yeah, or
Jordan,
yeah,
or
my other
Steven.
coach. It's mostly me and Jordan that do the main programming.
Right,
but we collaborate on it together and we work on, what are synergistic movements in the workout. Yeah, there's a whole science behind it.
So it's cool because if you really want to complain about the workout, you really can't because the person who actually did it and did it well is telling you to do it. So you're just like, okay, well, I'm going to do this.
I love it. Okay, last but not least, we have sacred words, which is similar to the creed, but so I would say like sacred words and to me and rituals are kind of similar. So the sacred words, like when you come in here, are imam, amrap. You know, the build has 3 different pieces to it. It's kind of like how we talk to each other, calling, if you're doing a really hard workout today, we call you a fire breather. So it's kind of like, what are the things that in our culture together, like fuse, build, and rev?
Right.
Like, even though those are the rituals, are also words that we'll say that only we know what they mean, right?
And that's
so
cool.
You're like, it's a rev day. And it's like, it creates that culture, right? That community.
So give an example out there is like Starbucks. They're really the only ones that are like, you know what I mean? When they're venti, they
tall,
say grande,
yeah.
They say tall. And if you're not a Starbucks person, like if you don't go into Starbucks.
Small, medium, and large.
And you're like, can I get a medium? I've had a girl like, a grande? And I'm just like, you know, I would see people and I'm just like, I look back to the people behind me, I'm like, not a Starbucks
Right,
person.
exactly. And those are the sacred words that tie people together. And then last but not least, we have the leader, right? So the leader can be, some brands have a leader that's very visible, some do not. So it's not something that's always there. But for example, like the Disney company, Walt Disney, right? It's in his name. The whole
I would have thought Mickey Mouse.
Right, but he created Mickey Mouse, right?
I know,
so
but I still think Mickey Mouse would be the leader.
Okay.
I'm just saying, when you say Disney, I don't think of Walt Disney.
But
I think of Mickey Mouse.
He's the icon, right? Mickey Mouse is the icon. So the leader of the creator of that company and the whole story behind it, just like Steve Jobs, I think you would tie yourself. Maybe Tim Cook now, but
totally Steve Jobs.
Originally to Apple, right, as the leader, like the thought person behind it. And obviously, I'm that person for my brand. Some companies some brands don't have that. Some brands choose to be a little bit more, it's not like you don't really know who created Coke, right? That's not part of the story of their brand. That's not that Coke origin story isn't necessarily that.
It's not important to them.
It's not important to how they're telling the story of their brand. But so my whole point today was to tell a story better, to build your business, is to really dial into the story of your brand. So again, I love this book. It's called Primal Branding. The cover's a little weird, as Will pointed out.
Creepy, not weird. It's creepy as fuck, but it's obviously helped him in a way, because if you were to see what it was before and then to see it now, it's a completely different place. Even though it's the same place, it's completely different.
It's more synergized, and it has like
more you.
Yeah, it has a more unique energy.
So I think that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And so entrepreneurs out there, if you're building your business, dial into your brand. What is it that makes you special and unique that nobody else can do but you?
Can I ask you a question? Somebody asked me a question the other day.
You've asked that 15 times. You've asked me a question to ask me a question.
I know, but if you said no, I'd be like, okay.
But why would I say no, Will?
I don't know, but you might one day. You'd be like, no.
I just burped the other way. I'm sure it's going to waft back.
It's going to waft back. Have some Sambuca. At least it would smell better.
All right, give me some. We're almost done, but give me some.
Yeah, so here's my question that I really want to ask you, and somebody's asked me this question. Yeah. So you obviously have biceps. You work out all the time, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't work out.
So my point is somebody asked me, like, what is your motivation? Like,
it's still fucking gross.
It tastes like black licorice. Settle down. It's like a black jelly bean.
I like fucking Twizzlers. All right. Anyways, continue.
I know, but it's like a black jelly. So do you not eat the black jelly beans?
No, fuck black jelly beans.
Fuck black jelly beans. But no, what is your motivation? Like, because you stay in great shape, and I know it's your brand to make sure as a gym owner to continue to work out, and I think that's important because you want to look good as a gym owner. But still, I know gym owners that are not in good shape. So what's up here to work out? Okay, so before you were a gym owner, just touch you. I just want to touch the muscle. It's real. It's real, people. It's not like that commercial where you can rip it off. But even when you had a torn pec, you still worked out and you did not own a gym. Why?
Working out does a few things for me. So when I first started working out, growing up, if you met me now and you met me 10 years ago, it's two different people. I didn't know, seriously. And I think we all evolve. We all evolve as we get older. But
you didn't have a beard.
I didn't have a beard. There was a confidence that I lacked in myself. And I think being able to lift weights, feel strong, feel good about myself, gave me confidence on a whole nother level. And it's something that I saw was transformative for me and that I wanted to bring to other people. So I love working out. It takes my mind off of everything that's going on. I feel like I'm improving myself, putting myself forward. I have my own personal goals that I'm trying to reach and hold myself accountable for. So yeah, man, it's just part of my DNA, part of who I am, is I'm always going to be someone for the rest of my life that's going to want to work out. Even if I'm on vacation, I'm the guy, at Disney World that's getting up early and going and running around the resort, trying to find somewhere to do some push-ups or some pull-ups or something.
Why, though?
Because it just drives me. It makes me feel good to start my day that way. Like, I just feel like powered up.
Do you believe in like setting like a goal? Like, so there's going to be like a cruise that I'm going to be going on in November, and I want to look great. I want to look good when I take my shirt off. Like,
I love that.
So you agree with that? Like, find 100%. Your motivation.
Find your motivation. Find the small goals that are going to help you chart your journey in the longer run. So when you first come in, we do a sit down, and we're going to do this with you because we haven't done one in a while, but we do a sit down and we figure out what is it that you're really after, and we chart a plan to help get you there.
Well, one of mine.
Chest cleavage.
Chest cleavage.
Yes.
And if you don't know what chest cleavage is, it is the muscle in between here when you see a guy take off their shirt and they have like fucking muscle between the pecs. How the fuck? So we're working on that.
Working on some chest cleavage here. Yeah, I mean,
today.
For sure.
Right.
I definitely have my own goals, and that's for sure.
I think it's awesome that you stayed motivated with the torn pec. I know. I mean, we'll get to this down the road. I was in a bad accident. I had to stay motivated. But my point is like, for you to be able to tear your pec and then still fucking be in amazing shape, that's awesome. But
that's RoxFire, baby. You got to train bold to live wild.
Live wild. I love the live wild part.
Yeah,
I just got to remember the train bold. So
yeah,
you said it right. You said Sambuca.
I know. I was saying Sambuca earlier. I was taking kombucha and Sambuca and throwing them together.
After a few, you actually said it right. So I guess this is about we're ending our podcast.
For this episode.
Oh my God, yeah, we're not totally ending it. We're just ending it today.
We're just saying goodnight.
But I know that's just something that we like to end with. We like to end for like a thought of the day. Like, what would you? So Valentine's Day. Like, stay away from this because I know you don't fucking love Valentine's Day. So stay away from your thoughts on Valentine's Day. But this week is going to be Valentine's week. It's going to be the time. It's the week of love. What do you think is like something you want to say to the people? Because I have stuff that I want to say to them.
To the people? Which people?
These people? Those people.
Oh, so like
there's nobody else.
Well, you were talking about Valentine's Day. I don't know if you're tying it into that. Okay.
Well, yeah, to those people.
Okay. So what I want to say is, find an opportunity this next week to be ruthless in your life. And ruthless doesn't necessarily mean anything negative or bad. You can ruthlessly love somebody. You can have ruthless compassion for somebody. You can have ruthless power and strength and determination. But be relentless this week in something that you're after.
Actually, that's really awesome, actually.
Thanks, bro.
And I just came out of nowhere and asked you that question. I swear to God, I came out of nowhere and asked him that question, and I put him on the spot, and that's what you love about LJ. He hits it every time. So my ending...
Let's do it.
Is don't forget. Don't forget about the people who actually are there for you. Don't forget about your significant other. This is the type of week where you have the opportunity not to forget. And I know that there's times where we're working our asses off, or
we take things for granted.
100%. Right now, please just don't forget. And don't forget about your coworkers. Don't forget about whatever. And I'm one of those people, like, if you go to the store, you can go to Walmart, you can go to Target, and you can buy little Valentine cards that are cheap. And it doesn't mean, like, love, the Valentine's Day thing that you were speaking of. It just means that, hey, not just the love part, but that you respect them, you know them, you care about them, and you understand them. My thing that I do every Valentine's Day is I buy my team either chocolates or roses on that day.
That's really thoughtful.
Yeah, and I do that because I want them to know that I'm a kick-ass boss. But the other thing I do that for is because I want them to know that I'm thinking about them and that I'm there for them. And but yeah.
Awesome. Well, this has been another episode of the BROxFire Podcast. Go out this week and don't forget the people that are important in your life. Be ruthless, and we will see you next time.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, bro.
All right. Deuces.
Fucking drink.
I fucking love it.